Namaskar and good morning, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, and inspiring leaders in the room. Welcome to the events of today. We're gathered today to celebrate a powerful movement, a movement that champions the leadership of women in data and technology. As Fede said earlier, and I'll echo, it's not just about doing the right thing, it's about doing the smart thing. It's about unlocking the full potential of our global society. Women's leadership in these fields isn't merely desirable, it's essential for driving development and making informed decisions that shape our collective future. They say that data is the new currency in an evolving digital age. It fuels innovation, guides policy, and empowers communities. Yet, for data to truly drive inclusive growth, women must not only participate and understand, but be at the forefront. And what does that mean? It means being creators, leaders, and decision makers. So all this was on my mind this morning as I looked out early morning from an airplane window on what I would say is one of the most beautiful flights in the world, which is between Kathmandu and Paro. And I had the great fortune of seeing the hills covered in snow. A dusting of snow had come. I was flying from Paro, and so not only the high peaks, which we're so used to these days, seeing a little dark without snow, but seeing them in their full majesty with snow. And you can imagine the oval and peering out below. And I was thinking about women in data, and I was thinking about rivers in the Ganges River Basin. And I was imagining, if I weren't flying, the difficult travel from Paro to Kathmandu, if everyone in this room were on a journey from there to here. So for just a moment, look around. I have the great fortune of seeing all of you, but just take a moment, just turn left and right and look around. I'm watching you, so I know whether you're doing it or not. So imagine all of us starting from further east, going across Sikkim, eastern Nepal, all the way to Kathmandu. And there's a lot of rivers. So we would need to forge the rivers or create bridges. And we could do that. Somehow, some way, we could do that, and we would be very resourceful, I'm sure. And we would likely all get here. 5, 6 years ago, at the Women in Data Conference, it became clear that a force of this metaphor was happening in relative isolation. And so there was a great determination, an incredible ingenuity. There was also a consistent theme of being alone, of being isolated, siloed in this journey. And when I think of the rivers going from the Himalayas down into support 2 billion people that are dependent on that, it seems like a really difficult task. And women in data is clearly a complex issue, like trying to forge all of those rivers, all of those streams to get from one place to the next. And it's not just an issue of data disaggregation, women, men, other. It's not just an issue of participation, not just an issue of education around data literacy, not just an issue of data visualization and communication, not just an issue of history, cultural divides, not just an issue of digital divides, and the list goes on. Now imagine the complexity. That fundamentally, it's all of these things and more to advance greater participation, leadership, decision-making. It's all of these things and more. So the sheer complexity of these issues presents a challenge amongst the many challenges. The enormity of that challenge was met by coming together in the Women and Data Steering Committee. And the trick is, it's not also just about doing it together, that we must do it alone and together, that we must, to get from one place to the next, cross those bridges, build those bridges on our own. And we can do it together. And this is what I see in the Women and Data Steering Committee, that there is a coming together, and there's also a separation, that we can also do it on our own. And we have different roles and functions, and you heard examples of what has happened over the last 6 years. So the question then comes, how could we bring greater coherence, harmonization, benefit, sharing through the coming together? What could that look like? And it strikes me that that's a forever question, and a question that the Women in Data Steering Committee has taken full on. The 𝐂𝐨𝐬𝐴 Foundation has the great privilege and distinct honor of being a partner to the steering committee and a partner also to the government of Nepal and the government of the UK. And all of us have come together to look at how do we get from one place to the next. The 𝐂𝐨𝐴 Foundation works with a clear vision of fostering growth and development in Nepal in a way that supports change within systems, understanding the ecosystem of data and our participation in the same way that we imagine those rivers in complex harmony as they go down to the plains. The 𝐂𝐴 Foundation's approach is rooted in a facilitated leadership, creating spaces for inclusive dialogue and multi-stakeholder forums like these. We believe in approaches that at their core that believe that change happens within dynamic systems that are rooted in communities that create their own long-term solutions and impactful partnerships. Our methodologies are built on collaboration, agility, and accountability. We not only, these days, you hear a lot about co-creation and co-design. And this is a partnership that is co-activated. It is an activation together with a common goal in partnership, in taking solid evidence as well as insights and ensuring that these are tailored for the unique challenges of those that are most affected. We've heard about the tremendous impacts over the last 6 years. And the journey's not over yet. And today is an important milestone, as it is every single year in that journey. And the question becomes, what's next? I heard an invitation for ideas. And that's an invitation for you to take. So we stand here today, and we're reminded that every of these milestones that have been achieved, but also those that will be achieved, will move us forward one step at a time, when we're doing it on our own, as well as when we're doing it together. And I believe that continued collaboration, agility, and accountability will sustain these impacts. I encourage this community to do this together. So let us move forward with the conviction that when women lead in data and technology, that societies thrive. Let us continue to break barriers, to inspire, and to create opportunities for ourselves, for one another, and for those that are not in this room. Let us inspire one another, and together we are not just changing a narrative in Nepal, but transforming the future to come. I wish you a good day. Let us forge the rivers together, build bridges amongst each other, and look forward to creating a future together. Thank you so much.